do not give up on your legal status. Many people fail to respond to RFE or file an application before the deadline. This is why we offer a strategy session for 15 minutes at no cost to you. Not everyone qualifies. First, you need to speak with our CARES team. We receive many requests, so we recommend you answer a few questions on our website, greencardguys.com. Our mission is to help people live and work in America legally. Go ahead and subscribe below and follow and share. Talk to you soon. All right, folks, today we're talking about seeking an American spouse. Well, here's the problem, and you need to know the red flags. Folks, my name is John Ting. I practice immigration law in all 50 states of America, helping you solve your immigration problem and maybe, hopefully, preventing it from happening in the first place, okay? Let's prevent those immigration problems, especially if you haven't filed your case at all, not yet. Let's take a look at today. So in the meantime, just want to share some items here. We try our best to answer questions, as many as possible, but I do realize sometimes I've took over 30 minutes to an hour, so I will have to answer limited questions from now on, and it's going to be around like average 10 to 15 questions, and it's going to be a random selection as of now. So keep in mind, if I don't answer your question, don't hate me, please, but send us a DM, and here's the secret code. The secret code is going to be helpful for you to be prioritized so that one of our team members or myself will reply to you sooner. It's not always me, but also you can give us a call right up here, okay? I'm sorry, TikTok, I'm not allowed to share the number. You got to go to our website, which if you DM us this code, all right, today's code is FUN, okay? I'm thinking about Friday, or, so type in the code FUN, DM us, and we'll respond to you. And if you need our website and you don't remember what it is, greencardguys.com, we'll send it to you, okay? So that way, that's one of the best ways to get in contact with us is to fill out the form on our website, okay? So in the meantime, if you have any questions, you're welcome to comment below, all right, or share your experience. I know folks in the audience would love to learn from others, their experience. And let's get down to it. So the number one red flag that I think is, they're top, at least top three I want to share today. And number one is filing your case without any shared bank account. And when I say bank account, it doesn't have to be the traditional brick and mortar. You could use Ally Bank, one of those online banks. I'm not sponsored by any of these banks, but you have to have some kind of joint account. All right. Now, people ask, do I need to have a will? No, you don't have to have a will, but it certainly helps. Okay. It's not a requirement, but what is a requirement that USCIS doesn't really flat out state is that there needs to be some kind of, they just say financial accounts, I believe, in instructions, but they want to see that you share the account. You're commingling your accounts, meaning if for some reason one spouse wants to ditch, I made a video about that the other day, but they want to ditch, I want to say ditch, but they had access to your account and needed to use your account, or, not your account, but together, your account together, they could do that, right? They have access. They can use a debit card, or if it's a credit card, add an authorized user for that. That's what I recommend, okay? And of course, you got to trust each other. If you don't trust each other to join each other's account, it only takes one account. You don't have to join more than one, all right? But if you don't trust each other to do that, you might not want to get married. I don't know. That's just my personal thought. There's not immigration legal advice, but you might want to think about that, all right? Because imagine what possible problems could be in the future. Not even immigration related, but because ultimately, even in 2023, even though the trend right now under President Biden is that most marriage cases, their interview is waived, sometimes in an interview. And every time we go, one of our attorneys, that's not a bad thing, okay? That they just want to verify the marriage or the legality of the marriage is what I mean, okay? So it could happen. So with that being said, you want to make sure you have the evidence ready. So that's the number one tip is, red flag is people who don't file with a joint bank account. So if you're in the middle of this case right now pending and you're like, oh shit, I heard of John's advice here. Yeah, you better get your act together, get that at least one account together. Okay, folks. All right. because by the time, let's say like 6, 12 months later, you're like, what the hell? I got an interview. I didn't get it waived. Well, shit, the freaking interview notice says, bring your accounts, like bring your evidence. So you don't want to go to that interview empty handed, folks. Okay. That's going to be wasting your time if you don't have anything. So that's why that's number one. Okay. Number two red flag, providing too many photos. Okay. And people tend to provide too many photos when they don't have as much transaction activity in their bank account. So I've had officers tell me before, not our clients, but like talking about other people, they're like, yeah, there's too many photos. Like I've had clients bring me a photo album. I was like, oh, bro, that's not a good idea. Just give me your top 10 photos. That's all I care about, right? Or you file your own top 10 photos. And you want to mix in some family members, some friends. Don't just have the same photo from the same, a series of photos from the same event. Okay, that's not a good idea, because that could have been like your wedding day in front of the judge. And then if I were an officer, I'd be like, bro, y'all don't do anything else together? Come on. You don't even have an Instagram, like any photo that you can screenshot. Okay. By the way, all social media, put it on private. Okay. Aside from immigration, you should just put it on private. That's what I highly recommend. People can just, what do you call it? Copy people's photos. So that's just not a good idea to keep it on public. But those are top two red flags right there. I know it seems weird. Why don't they want photos? Because I've seen cases that have gone to the FBI, all right, and they state that that there's just so many photos. It just doesn't look right. Like you just get the vibe that something's off here, right? So they're just trying to detect us. Of course, USCIS, they're trying to detect fraud, all right. The other third red flag is not having your addresses matched up. This is weird, right? You would think that if you're filling your own form, that your information should be matched up. But let's say one spouse fills out their I-130, the other spouse fills out their I-130A, and that foreign national spouse fills out their 485. Your dates might not match up. So that's another reason why to have a lawyer, because we verify that and make sure. I know it's kind of strange. I mean, you would think you have your shit together in terms of addresses, but a lot of y'all don't. And then just the honest truth. Sorry for all the cursing, but I'm, if I'm the USCIS officer, I'd be like, dude, this is a field day. Like, deny, deny, deny. Like, this is easy. You want to prevent that from happening, okay, folks? You want to get your shit together and get it going correctly. File it correctly. Because how can you depend on a lawyer to get it done correctly for you if you can't provide the correct addresses? Just going to be honest, right? But that's why we come in and we look at the forms side by side, like, okay, what's off here? Okay, like something's wrong. And so we actually follow up and make sure that, hey, by the way, this address I see, like, and we cross reference with the lease or your mortgage when it started, when you signed off on it, when you started living there. It's like something looks off, right? And maybe it's all true. Like, okay, one spouse has moved in 2 months later because that spouse lived in a different state, different city, so needed time to move, right? Pack their things and move to where you live. So that's totally understandable. But that's the point. Having that story ready, the true story, the credible story ready for the interview, if there is an interview. But most of the time, the spouses don't match the addresses. Okay. Of course, at some point you lived in two different addresses and moved in together. But if your marriage has been, and they ask for the last 5 years of addresses, but if you've been living together for a while, you moved from place to place, let's say a couple different places, you want to make sure those addresses are correct. Again, whether you hire us or you file yourself. Okay. But it seems, yeah, it seems, it seems, USCIS will just mess you up that way. But yeah, you want to be careful. Okay. I want to answer some questions now. That's the top 3 red flags that y'all need to know. All right. Now there's a good reminder right now. If I don't answer your question, I don't get to it, I'm sorry. We're trying our best, but I can't be on here for so long. But I do appreciate you all staying live. So if for some reason I don't answer your question, or I did answer it, but it just not, you just have follow-up questions. Totally understandable. This is not a strategy session right here. This is just share free tips. Disclaimer, before you take any immigration action, you do need to speak with a lawyer one-on-one and not in a public forum like TikTok, YouTube, or Facebook, or Instagram, I guess. But you need to, so if you want to contact us, it's our pleasure. We appreciate your trust. You can give us a call on YouTube and YouTube, Facebook. You can see the number right here. Or if you're on TikTok, send us a DM so that we can send you our number, because they don't want me to share that on the live feed. I don't know why. It's kind of ridiculous. But anyway, all right, down to the questions. I'll start with YouTube first. All right, Maria, I'm almost ready for you. All right, Emily says, good day. What is the reason why USCIS filing date chart to follow is for children's age while DOS uses final action chart? From what I understand, your follow-up question is, it seems unfair, even when it's the same green card benefits, why have different policy? Well, the main thing is because it's actually to benefit people who are in America, okay, in terms of when to file their case. Because if it's someone abroad, let's say a child abroad and they're about to age out, it'd be great if everyone could use the chart B, okay, early filing action date, but they don't, right? So traditional policy is to wait for chart A. But for people who are in America, it's I guess you could say, enhanced benefit and better benefit. So they're not gonna change it for everyone. Look, I agree. I totally agree. We filed a lawsuit on a case, and at the time that person had the interview, and at the time that we sued the government on chart A, it was current for that person, for that client. By the time we finally got the U.S. attorney to negotiate, and the U.S. attorney get their point of contact back to us on the Department of State, they said, and they're ready to issue the visa. They said, yo, it's not ready. It's not, like, it's retrogressed 2 years. It's frustrating. We were so close, but it was based on the sponsor being a resident. So we needed her classification to be bumped up to be a citizen. Then there's no more wait time in that sense, no retrogression issue. But the problem in that is that they have a daughter that doesn't have immigration status as part of the immigration case. So we had to file separately for the daughter, since when you have a family preference case and then you have to upgrade, it doesn't include the children. You have to refile a different petition. So I don't know policy reason behind USCIS, but what I do know is that they were trying to make it easier for people who are in the US, because before it was based on chart A, even for people in the US, and it delayed their ability to file. So that's a key difference. It's unfair, but there has to be some kind of separation. Okay. I see your other question, but I need to get to folks on TikTok right now. Can an undocumented person travel on a state ID from state to state? Typically no one, I don't know what situation, Cha-Cha, that you'd be stopped, but what you do need, so I guess, yes, but I don't know what other situation, state to state, usually that kind of concerns like transporting guns or drugs. That's where the issue is. But in terms of ID, they don't have people at the border, state officials or state troopers at the border, at least as far as I know, unless something's going on, for there to be a checkpoint, for them to check IDs. But where it does happen for sure is border checkpoints with the U.S.-Canadian border, U.S.-Mexico border. You cannot, I highly suggest not being within 100 miles of an international border, because I've had a client where they're coming back from Grand Canyon, Arizona to Texas. They intended to go north, the northern highway, but it was blocked off. So they had to go south, southern border, and that was within 100 miles of the border, and there's a border checkpoint. So that's what happened. So, but in terms of ID, the only thing when you say state to state, I'm thinking like driving. But if you're saying ID to travel, the issue that's going to come up is the Real ID Act. That's, I think, effective May 2024. So you want to keep note of that. They need specific I think like a star or something on the ID. So I'll record a separate video about that. Okay, Dajay, sorry, mispronounced your name. How long does PD take? It Typical lawyer answer, it depends. I need more information. I need to know, is your case active right now, or is it closed off in terms of like um, it's old removal order? Because Department of Homeland Security, they've already stated policy that they're trying to prioritize people that have an active case. But of course, this will perpetually continue. So at some point, they need to assign someone specifically to just review old cases. They really need to get their shit together too, because they need to do that before, if there's a new president. I don't know, but that's going to be next January 20th, 2025. All right, Jordan, can special immigrant juvenile get married while waiting for green card? Yeah, absolutely. There's no restriction to that. We've had cases like that as well. All right. The only thing, though, okay, Jordan, to be mindful of is that the benefit of special immigrant juvenile is that they don't have to. If everything goes smoothly, there is a longer wait time. Everything goes smoothly, that person doesn't have to leave the United States for the interview. But most people that file for SIJ, they enter without visa. So if you're filing based on marriage, then you need that person, your spouse needs a waiver, or your fiance. So most likely. Way to Jannah, Islam. Is marrying spouse inside the U.S. better than marrying them outside? Great question. In general, to your question, no, there's nothing better. Not necessarily. But if you want a better chance in terms of faster process, you might want to consider getting a visitor visa, applying for that before getting married. Okay. So John, I can't say full detail here, but I can say that, so you can DM us. All right. The secret code is fun today, fun Friday. That's the code. Okay. Fun. So send that to us, or when you call in, share that secret code. Let me share it with the team, actually, by the way, before I forget. I appreciate y'all that use this code, or every day is a different code, but it does help us the CARES team prioritize who to contact first. So I want to give y'all some benefit because y'all are watching the live show. All right. I know some attorneys invite people to the live show, but I don't think as many of y'all would be as patient, because some people ask a lot of follow-up questions, which is just, I don't think that's proper for a live show. We want to get to as many people as possible. Let's see. All right, Ramesh. How long does it take USCIS to send confirmation? Oh, that went away. Oops. How long? Okay, thanks, Maria. How long does it take USCIS to send confirmation receipt number after sending package with the dinero, with the money? That is average 3 to 5 weeks, assuming it's a marriage case. For some reason, for VAWA, freaking takes forever. I don't know why, like a couple months. It's frustrating. I don't know why. It's always with VAWA that it takes longer. I don't like, out of all people that need to get something faster, it's people who are a victim of abuse, I would think, so they can get more stability. DZA Trail. Can you get sponsored for green card by employer? Specialty training, medicine, overstayed. Okay, overstayed. It is possible to get started, but in general, at some point, you do need to apply for a waiver before your visa interview. So it's, in general, EB process, or some people call PERM. It's a long process. I mean, depending on your country nationality, but aside from visa bulletin, it's going to take minimum 2 years. And then after the petition, which that's not even including petition step, after the petition, then you apply for the waiver. And to be eligible for waiver, you need to have a spouse or a parent who's a U.S. citizen or resident, right? So if you have a spouse who's a U.S. citizen, then you wouldn't be going through this EB process. I get it. It's frustrating. Someone asked about PD earlier. How long does it take? But if you have an active follow-up there, if you have an active case, generally in the court hearings like next week or next month, generally they respond very much more quickly. Okay, y'all are being prioritized by DHS. Oh, I see your follow-up. Yes. Dage, yes, the case is active. December 4th, individual. All right, so it's August and almost September now. So you want to get in contact with an attorney. Doesn't have to be an attorney. Well, you probably have a lawyer now because if you have individual hearing coming up soon. So, but the fact that you're asking me this question, maybe you don't have a lawyer. So we're happy to chat with you. Okay. Um, let's see. Okay, Jennifer, tourist visa expires in 1 month. Husband just filed the I-130. Should you extend the tourist visa? You could, but there's no point. I mean, is your husband a U.S. citizen? If your husband is a U.S. citizen, then you don't need to extend your visitor visa. But if you want to be thorough, I guess you could. But you could DM us BAR. Okay, DM us BAR, and we'll send you a link for the where we can show a chart. I might have a video on it, but we can show the chart to from USCIS policy manual. If you're married to a U.S. citizen, it waives unlawful presence. The key thing is that you enter the visa. Emily, your question is about my red flag earlier. So how does USCIS handle case that couple travel a lot so the address changes every 6 months? Well, I mean, does that person have a home base? If you have a home base, then the address will be the same. So, I mean, I know these days some people are traveling abroad trying to take advantage, or not take advantage, but the pandemic is over. So in that sense, traveling, but it's more about the intent to live somewhere permanently. So if it's just traveling from, let's say someone staying month to month, I wouldn't put that address in France, for example. I would just keep the home base address in America, essentially. Okay. And the original address. So my red flag was more about people who, maybe living separately or something. Oh, travels inside the U.S. Okay. Well, I mean, they just gotta find a home base and just keep it simple in that sense. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if they're living somewhere like, yeah, maybe 6 months at a time, then sure, yeah, provide that different address. But if it's kind of like hopping over to VRBO or something or Airbnb, then no, don't put that address. Let's see here. All right, Terry on TikTok. How long after your wedding can you apply? I mean, after the wedding, you can apply as soon as possible, but I mean, it's more about how soon after entering the U.S. with a visitor visa or any visa. That's more the concern. Um, but I see what you're saying. Trying to show if you're trying to get married for immigration benefit. We've had plenty of people get file the paperwork, the package like a week after the wedding. There's no rule on that part. So thanks for asking. Let's see here. By the way, it was a good moment for me to share. If you appreciate our answers, if you don't mind, go to reviewtinglaw.com and hit us up with give us a shout out on feedback and our customer service or your answers. And also, if you don't mind, especially if you talk to one of our CARES team specialists already, or we were able to provide you appropriate information on a message, let me know. Okay. We really appreciate it. You can go to reviewtinglaw.com. All right, Mo, do you have to get the COVID vaccine to get your GC? Yes, you do, unfortunately. However, you can apply for a waiver. If you don't want to take the vaccine, you can apply for a waiver 601. But the reasoning behind the not taking vaccine has to basically apply to you not taking the other vaccines. It can't just be COVID only. So I believe it states on there, actually, like, it's very specific. Like, you can't just say you don't want it at all. You got to give a reason. Like, I think it has to be like moral or religious reasons. I feel bad. A lot of people who initially you had the consultation and said, I don't want to take it. I haven't taken it yet. And then I explain all this. And I say the waiver application is like almost $1,000, I believe. It's hella expensive. So if that happens, I mean, we've had most of our clients, all our clients end up just taking the vaccine. I mean, I know it sucks. I'm not here to tell people that you have to, but the rules are the rules. But that's why USCIS allows a waiver. It's just that I haven't heard of anyone getting approved. And that's probably because people just put random reasons. You gotta have it's very specific. So you don't want to waste your money on that if you don't have a specific moral religious belief that you can't take the vaccine. If someone enters on a visitor visa lawfully and gets married within a few weeks, is that wrong? I mean, it's too late for you if that's the case, but I don't recommend. Oh, wait, no, I think you're just saying if. I recommend waiting more time on that because it's harder to show. If you have an interview, it's really difficult to demonstrate to a USCIS officer that you didn't have the intent to get married upon entry or when you enter America if you got married like in a week or so. So I do recommend waiting a couple months. Okay, it's a lot easier to dispel that misconception by the officer. What else here? Oh, by the way, so as I mentioned, you have opportunity to unlock those free 15 minutes. The best way to do for a strategy session, the best way to do that is going to our website, all right, greencardguys.com, and answer a couple of questions on our form. But if redirect you to provide your email so we can send you more information. So keep in mind, folks, for us to share more information about our team and how we do things, our operations, the reasons why we're able to file cases sooner, you have to sign up with our e-newsletter, essentially. You could do that. The fast way to do that is fill out the form on our website, greencardguys.com. And of course, if you're like, forget it, I don't care about Ting Law, they're not the team for me, you can unsubscribe. Very easy. No hard feelings. It's all good. I won't know. I don't have time to check that anyway. So Shan91, maybe you had a different question. Maybe the second part of your question. Something about family-based petition in 2021. You still haven't heard anything. Okay. Petition 2021. Are you the U.S. Is this U.S. citizen or is this based on sponsorship by a resident? Because that's a key difference. Because I just did a TikTok video, I think yesterday. I get all these videos mixed up. I just did a video about the processing times based on someone who's a resident. And as of yesterday, it was showing about average 36 months. Now, if you had so anyways, I don't know. Let's see. Did you comment below? Shireen, we're located in Houston, Texas. We have a satellite office in other cities if you need to meet in person. Denver, Pensacola, Florida, and Dallas, Texas. But our main office is in Houston, Texas. That's where I'm out of. But of course, we help people in other. What are some evidence you should provide when applying for a marriage-based green card? So I don't know when you joined, Shireen, but one of the main ones I mentioned was a joint bank account. So I would say, if you have like 3 to 6 month bank account statement, then I would provide that. But the caution here is that if your bank statement only has like less than 10 transactions, I would try to build that up a little bit more. Okay, try to use that as your main account, meaning like that you're using that more often because you want to show that USCIS that you appreciate it, happy to help you, butterfly. But yeah, you want to show USCIS that this is a legitimate bona fide marriage. And if people are providing like a bank statement with like 2 or 3 transactions, that's really skeptical to me. Maybe 10 is okay, but I would probably be a very strict USCIS officer, to be honest, because I do see some things I'd be like, yo, why not spend them? If you spend the money anyway, just put it in the same account. And I get it. Maybe you prefer points, so use credit card, then add that spouse to that credit card. Okay. But that's the main piece, especially, but if you're abroad, okay, Shireen, you asked the evidence, but if you're abroad and, you're trying to show evidence of that, like communication wise, living together or you're living in a different state, different city, use whatever platform you use to communicate. Let's say WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, whatever it is, take a screenshot of that to show the call log. Now, if it's like you're sending the messages, like some of them, I wouldn't say send 10 pages worth, but just showing proof that you've had some communication. I mean, make sure you don't send confidential information on there. All right, Neha. So, Prasad, when you come to U.S., you applied for asylum. It's been 7 years. Don't hear anything. Any help? Yeah, I actually had a consultation earlier. Person was out of New Jersey or that area, East Coast, and been waiting. That person waiting 3 years. So we file lawsuits. We normally file lawsuits when it's 4 years, but we might start filing lawsuit at 3 year mark. But you're at 7 years, so it sounds like you're still waiting for the interview. So yeah, let's contact us. Okay, send us a DM, fun FUN. All right, fun Friday, and we'll send some information your way to want to make sure you're comfortable in that decision to file a mandamus lawsuit. Which, by the way, especially for asylum interview, if you're waiting for asylum interview, it's been a long time. You need to get an asylum lawyer to help you with that case. But because hiring us for mandamus lawsuit does not mean that we help you appear, represent you at the asylum interview. Okay, this just helps speed up your case to get your interview date, for example. Or maybe you had an interview in any immigration application, like 45 and 400, become a citizen. We've actually filed lawsuits on that too. And you would think N400 become a citizen. Why the hell are they waiting? I don't know. The most common reason is because they misplaced your file, right? Because they're trying to schedule a lot of people. Who knows? They might have misplaced the file. We've actually had to sue the government when people waited over a year after being approved and no oath ceremony or no decision. It's crazy. It's nuts. Send us a DM or call us, fill out the form, secret code, fun. Can you get your citizenship after you file for divorce and get remarried? Yes, you can, but you have to wait when you get divorced. And the 3 or 5 year rule to be applied for citizenship depends on if you got married. You know, if you got married or you got divorced from the person who you got sponsored from, then it's going to default back to 5 years. Okay, so keep that in mind. I know the reason I recorded the video about resident sponsoring is because that person, I'm assuming that person has to wait the full 5 years. So just depending on timing, I mean, just in general, I just recommend become a citizen as soon as you're eligible. Let's see. All right, Golden Lady, for sure. Son is 19. You've been here 20 years. Can he file for residency? Great question. He actually, if you could comment that question, also, I'm going to answer it now, but you can comment that question on one of our videos. Then I can record a video with your question if you don't mind. Which goes for anyone, actually. If I don't answer your question, either send us a DM or comment below on any of the videos, and I'll record a video for that. Okay. I'm going to pick 2 today to do that. All right. And it'll be random selection. But this question, yes. So the cautionary thing here is that Golden Lady, for sure, did you enter America without a visa or with one? But if you entered without a visa, then eventually you need the waiver. You would need the waiver. So your son can file. Okay, thank goodness. I see your second comment. Thank goodness, because then you don't have to leave the United States. All right. But yes, when your son becomes a U.S. citizen, he can file a petition for you, and you can file adjustment of status form together because you entered with a visa, even though you overstayed. All right, because you're assuming your son's a U.S. citizen. Maybe you mentioned that. Then that's immediate relative classification, meaning in the USCIS policy manual, it states it waives the unlawful presence. It waives the failure to maintain status. So you're good to go on that one. But if you want to see it, you want to make sure you want to see it. You got 2 years anyway, but DM us BAR and I'll send it to you. I don't know why I picked that one. Or ULP. We'll send you the link. What's our contact? How do I book appointment with y'all? So the best way to do that, folks, is go to our website. Let me see if I can find it. Not find it on YouTube and Facebook. I can share here, but greencardguys.com, or go to our form on there, contact us on that page and answer a few questions, and it'll set you up with once you enter your email, it's going to send you an email with the with the link, okay? With the link to schedule. So check that out. All right, we're happy to help. So we do offer a strategy session for 15 minutes at no cost to you, really because a lot of y'all already filed your case and you may have talked to 20 lawyers. And I don't know why. This is the second time that someone's told me today that someone had talked to 20 lawyers. Maybe that's a little inflated, but they called 20 lawyers and they spoke to one of our CARES team members, Victor, and he did a wonderful job. All our team members do a wonderful job in terms of customer service. So thank you, Victor, if you're listening. But yeah, all of the lawyers that he talked to is for mandamus case. They just brushed him off to the side, like, "Oh, sorry, we don't do that." I don't even know if they said sorry. Like, no, no, we don't do that. We don't handle that. And there's just the tone, right? We are very specific in treating others with kindness. Respect is very important to us because we understand like life is short, like we just need to chill out, especially with this whole pandemic. We're all working harder, at least some of us. I'm going live every day. But you know what? Like life is short. There's plenty of immigration lawyers. We just want to treat others with respect. And I appreciate the person I spoke with earlier today that said Victor did a great job. So thanks, Victor, again. But anyway, so if you have experience like that with us, we greatly appreciate you go to reviewtinglaw.com and please give us feedback, even if it's bad. Okay, we're always all about improving our services. All right, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Let's see here. Next question. Mike, you came in the U.S. a year ago or years ago with C1D and going to marry U.S. citizen fiance soon. Oh boy. Sorry, I don't mean to say it that way. Congratulations on your decision, but I'm assuming your question is how do you get status, right? So C1D, I need to make sure. But every time I check C1D, you're not able to adjust. So let me write that down here before I forget. Can a person with C1D adjust status? So that's what we like to do. Even I don't profess to know everything. I don't claim to know everything. That's just impossible. There's just so much information. But what we like to do is verify. Trust, but verify. Okay. So that's what we're trying to do. But every time I've seen it about C1D in terms of the online, it didn't say that you could adjust. But hopefully there's an exception. Let's see. Appreciate that, Monica. Yeah. I try to outline things step by step, and I know I speak a little fast, so I'll try to slow it down. Mostly because I'm trying to answer a lot of questions. My wife tells me I'm slow, and I talk too much, but maybe it's because of the live show. All right, June. How long is interview at after DQ? Okay. Man, that's $1 million question, June. I wish I knew this one. It depends on nothing almost. Like it depends. Well, depends on the consulate or embassy in that country, because the way they do it ever since the pandemic is that when you upload all those documents, you got DQ'd, you got the interview saying in queue. The thing about that kind of email is that in queue just means you're in line, but that does not mean it's going to be next month or 2 months from now or even 6 months from now. We've had to file a lawsuit, mandamus lawsuit, for people waiting over a year on being DQ'd. And the thing is, just like what I was saying earlier, is that, I was talking about chart A or B about Emily's question earlier from YouTube, is that it really, because if you wait, and you don't sue, and you keep thinking the U.S. government really cares about you, look, the deal is certain categories and family preference can retrogress. So even when you thought you could have had an interview and it was supposed to be issued and they hold up in your case, there's all other scenarios that can be held up. So you want to get going as soon as possible. Yeah, MKB for sure. Yeah, I do some. Yeah, anyways. But yeah, appreciate the follows, the likes. Really appreciate it. Can someone who is on child support sponsor another person with their immigration status? Yes, fortunately can, um, because whoever's on child support is obligated to pay it in that state. Then I'm assuming it's typically the case that assuming a spouse cannot put that child as a dependent on a tax return. Usually, the primary parent for custodial rights has the right to, a tax return to mark that child as a dependent. So, in that sense, it works out for the A64 form. Where lack of payment, failure to pay child support, that comes into play for the N400 to become a U.S. citizen. But that wasn't your question. Just of course, like to overshare. K1 or CR1. CR1 is the way to go. All right, CR1 is the way to go. Okay, glow up. So glow up, you can actually get married remotely. I know it's totally weird. It's strange. It would be strange for me to do that with my wife back in the day, which I married into a Vietnamese family. So if you know anything about Vietnamese families, they got like two football teams deep. Okay. They got a lot of families. So they would have hated us if we got married remotely. But if you're in a situation like this, Glow, and one of you are in the UK, the other spouse is in the US, and you just can't get in person, it's understandable, right? Aside from like airplane ticket, which it seems like increasing in cost, because they know everyone wants to travel right now. You can get remarried remotely in Utah, the state of Utah. Your fiance, your spouse does not, or future spouse does not have to show any residence in Utah. So if you need the link to that, DM us, or when you fill out the form on a website, just type in Utah, and we'll know to send you the link to that. Okay, because you don't need to wait for a consultation for us to share you that link. The more information that you get sooner, the better for you. Okay, we care about you. And let's see, for you to get your legal status, how long after I-130 review they call you for the next step? They wouldn't call you. Sometimes they do call when it's like you filed a 45, but you didn't mention 45. Monica, did you send in the 45, or is there a reason why I only file I-130? Is it because your spouse or you are abroad? All right, Monica, we'll try to keep track of your follow-up comment. Okay, let's see here. In the meantime, if you're just joining now live, welcome to greencardguys.tv. We're here to share real information, real time feedback from USCIS, State Department. I haven't done this in a while, but maybe I need to get back to it. And that is sharing the news from the State Department. So something I'm going to try to do better. Well, not do better, but just try to create more time on the social media side of things. Is that it's tough because I'm a lawyer and a business owner at the same time. But I'm going to try to. I've been recording some videos to help y'all where you don't really need a lawyer, but help y'all not to necessarily file the case, but just some tips, maybe even a check status. So check out my recent video from yesterday on how to check how long the case is processing. Let's see. VDK in all your letters here. If under 18 who overstayed, go back. Oops, missed it. That was slow. Okay, I found it. And return, does it? Oops. Does he get the 10-year bar? If under 18 currently, no bar, no unlawful presence, okay? So hopefully that helps you out or whoever you know. Under 18, but if you say turned 18 today and then left, that's a problem, okay? So hopefully that helps. Let's see here. Next question. These are great questions. I need to write these down to record a video about. But if I don't get to your question, please comment, DM us and comment. It's a lot easier for me to remember to answer your question is actually if you comment on a video. It could be a random, or you could ask a question on a random video. It doesn't matter, and I can just that's the thing about TikTok. You can just click that, and because it helps me remember to answer a question. Is being under TPS a red flag when you get married? Is the process an adjustment of status? No, 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 no. TPS, being on TPS is not a red flag. No, it's more about entry. Okay. So if you got married, that's congratulations. But TPS, the fortunate with TPS, you can file for advanced parole. Actually, there is case law from Supreme Court, I believe, that says you don't have to show the travel when you have TPS, and I think that came about 2 years ago. So finally, because people, but for DACA, if someone has DACA, you do need to get advanced parole, okay, and not just get advanced parole approved, but you need to actually travel, even if it's for like 2 hours, okay. But there's very specific reasons on that. RFE means interview wait. RFIE. I've never heard of RFIE, but maybe did the I on accident. Request for evidence means interview waived. If the RFE was based on medical exam only, then yes, most likely your interview is waived because before the pandemic or before this change the last year or so, they would say courtesy notice to send in your medical exam when you go to the interview. But if they ask for a medical RFE, you're probably going to be interview waived. Yeah, Emily, I'm not sure what you mean by that, but we've had clients approved. But maybe so. What happens in Utah County is not considered proxy marriage, and so proxy in general is, from what I know, like from corporations, um, that means like someone else is doing it for you. So when I mean virtual marriage, both people are still participating in on it, like as a Zoom conference or something, whatever they use. But that's not a proxy marriage. It's different. Proxy is like someone else is stepping in for you, like it was a corporation board. It's someone else stepping in for you to do the vote for you. So, but that's not what I'm talking about with Utah. Okay. hmm Okay. So let's see here. Other question, June. You're welcome. Uh, EXO, no DACA or marriage. Is there any way to get citizenship? Yo, Amy Marie, I wish there was a direct path, but are you in America already or overstayed already? If you're not, then there's a bunch of options. There's like a treaty trader visa. I consider like the business visa startup, or it can be people already have a business. But maybe if you have a parent who is a spouse, I'm sorry, if you have a parent who is a citizen or a resident, then maybe you could get sponsored by a company. And then if you're, this is assuming you're in US, then you can apply for a waiver. Okay. I mentioned that earlier today. So in your situation, this is one of the good examples. Like I need to know more information about your immigration history or some facts. If you can DM us, y'all are welcome to access, since y'all are following us live. I really appreciate it. Y'all care about your case, of course. And, you can access the unlock the free 15 minutes, no cost to you strategy session. It's not guaranteed for everyone. So even though you do self schedule eventually, you put your email into our system. Um, we might be able just to send you a free guide. It might be just as good. You might not need a lawyer, but for most people, you do need to talk to us. But just in case people, we don't want to mislead everyone. It's not automatic that you get a free 15 minutes. You got to go through the step, just a couple steps, not too many. Sorry, I just missed that comment about VAWA. Can I file for VAWA while U.S. citizen spouse I-130 going? Uh, yes, you can in general. All right. There's no restriction on that. And specifically for VAWA, it's because you may want to consider filing of that because they do have a deadline. In legal terms, we call it statute limitations, but you can consider like timing restriction. Let's say you got divorced, you have up to 2 years before that, after the divorce, within a 2 year period after divorce, to file for VAWA. Okay. Do not wait because we've had people call in and I'm like, why were you denied? Read the denial letter and it said, oh, you filed 2 years after, more than 2 years after. So the divorce. So please keep that in mind. All right, Gladys, your baby's father is a green card holder. Can you file for me? You're here in the States. You, uh, well, first, yes, you can, but you have to get married, of course, and then because even if your state recognizes common law marriage, I mean, some states or counties might be able to. Um, some some states. Amy Marie, yeah, absolutely. You can share our channel. I think I don't know how it is on a live show, but somewhere you can click share. I think. So you're welcome to do that, and they can jump on one of these live sessions as well. MKB, yeah, happy to help. Um, if I, by the way, I appreciate all the messages. We have some team members helping out too. But usually after a live show, I need to eat. I need to rest a little bit, go to a meeting. Oh yeah, I have a meeting in 5 minutes. This is just part of the business. So, but please give us at least a couple days to get back to you. I appreciate it. Gladys, but yes, EXO, Amy Marie, you're welcome to share a video or channel. However, it's way easier on TikTok than Instagram. Okay. How long to? I don't think I answered Gladys' question, did I? Okay, after that girl, Chin Chin. Chin Chin, that must be your nickname or something. How long to put a vowel case together? I mean, we based on our service plans, we have three, by the way, Light, Pro, and Max. I mean, for us, we can do it in 30 days once someone authorizes us. We're able to do that. Okay, that's right. So it's more about, by the way, Chin Chin, that's more about like if you're able to do the things that we need you to do on our checklist, basically. Um, Gladys, your baby, that's right. Can file for you. It also depends. He's a green card holder. He can file for you now. I mean, assuming you're married or about to get married, and then. But the thing is, ultimately, it's really better for him to become a U.S. citizen. But he doesn't have to wait to file a petition until he becomes a citizen. But just depends. Yeah, TikTok is a full-time job for sure. No kidding, MKB. It's kind of crazy. Gladys, hopefully I answered your question, but I always have more in-depth answer, of course, but that's what the consultation is for. That's what the free 15 minutes is for. So please access that. Way to Jana. Is it hard for men to get VAWA? No, it's not. It's gender neutral, fortunately, even though in the name it says women. But it could have been VAHA, Violence Against Humans Act. But I don't think they thought about that through. Tremaine, you said proud of all the immigration law gladiators who fight the good fight. Yeah, appreciate it, man. This is I mean, good thing we don't have President Trump in office. For anyone that loves Trump or MAGA, more power to you. I don't know how you got sucked into that, but not trying to say all Democrats are wonderful. You gotta research. But what I'm trying to say to that, thanks Tremaine for your comment, is because it's politics, right? Right, red or blue, you gotta make sure that they're doing the right thing for us, for yourself, really. So your vote does matter, and you can only vote as a citizen. Okay, by the way, we did have some people call in the past couple of months saying that they got registered at the Department Motor Vehicle when you're renewing your ID or getting it for the first time, and some people, the clerks, tell you, oh, or ask you, would you like to register to vote? And they don't check your citizenship status. And so we've had a couple people actually say, and that question, are you a U.S. citizen? They check mark no, but they still got officially registered. So sorry, a rant. So just like government, sorry if you're a government worker, but some government employees just don't check everything correctly. So anyways, I mean, let's go to way to John. I wanted to answer this question. Pin. Okay. Marry remotely in Utah. So yes, you could do that part. You can enter with a visitor visa. Yes. And file for GC in 2 months. Would that be the approach? I like to wait 3 months to really build that evidence up. But again, this year, 2023, the trend is for interviews to be waived. So in general, your case could be faster anyway. Okay, Marie, 28 MC. Well, how long is VAWA case taking? It depends who you married, the status of who you married. Did you marry a U.S. citizen and then got divorced? Then that person, then that case normally at least 12 months. For VAWA cases, they don't speed that up, unfortunately. They really should. They should have, which, by the way, someone told me the other day, one of my colleagues who handles only asylum, which, by the way, um, if you want to apply for asylum and you want a lawyer for that, we're not the law firm. Okay. You want to contact one of the lawyers I can think of is Brian Manning. He only handles asylum law. He's on TikTok and he's on YouTube. There's plenty of other lawyers, of course, but he only handles asylum. All right. Do your due diligence. I cannot make a guarantee of outcomes or results. You given who cash? What'd you say, Marky? Murray, hopefully I answered your question already. How much is the price for VAWA? Thanks for your question, Cecilia. I would love to share. I tried to share fees on the YouTube and TikTok, but TikTok banned me for 5 minutes. So I can't tell you online here, but you're welcome to contact us and we're happy to share all that pricing, which in general, folks, we have 3 different service plans. We're actually trying to update the website eventually so that it could possibly share the fees online, because we don't want to waste anyone's time if it's out of budget or not. But we're always happy to share information, so don't be shy. Okay. This can be the last question. I'm sorry. Gotta come 1 minute late to my meeting. My fiance got expedited. Ooh, removed 3 times. Is he here? Here in the States, in your U.S. citizen, can she fix? Probably not. But you want to talk to a lawyer 101 to review those documents. But typically, how it works is that anytime someone's been removed and as a permanent bar, it doesn't necessarily mean that you can't apply, but when you have to literally wait physically outside the US for a minimum 10 years and then apply for residency. Okay. Yeah, so hopefully that helps. Okay, so let's see here. All right, one more question. All right, Maria, don't pin any more comments. I'm sorry. Then I feel bad once it's pinned. Is it really necessary to do a waiver for illegal entry? Yeah, it is. Unless you qualify for an exception, okay, which I can't go through all of them right now. I'll record about it. Comment that question on one of my random videos. Then I'll answer that question, the different exceptions, okay? But one of them right now is like VAWA, military family member. And no, it can't be your uncle or aunt. It has to be a specific family member, okay? All right, folks. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. And I'll see you on Monday, okay? Have a wonderful day. Take care and weekend.